athleticism. Mario Mandzukic pounced, and England are hurt. Touchdown Seahawks!
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 64 of the West Coast Sports Junkies. It's free agent frenzy day, at least for us Canadian folk it is, and people that listen to this podcast. Lots to talk about there. We had a couple things happen in the MLB, Major League Baseball world. I think somebody got fired today. We'll talk about that. We've got golf. We've got UFC. We've got everything that you want to hear. All for you. Episode Nintendo 64. Boom. For those of us that are of that age. Mike, do you know what a Nintendo 64 is?
Yeah, man. I had one forever.
Did you have one? Did you play GoldenEye?
Yeah, I did. I was never really big into video games until I got my PS3 and I got Call of Duty.
Yeah, which you sucked at, but
did you?
Okay, easy, buddy. I got a PS5 now. And I still have Call of Duty. I'll F you up.
Did you run around and hide and lay on the ground in GoldenEye?
Sniping your guys' asses
as well.
GoldenEye, no.
The best is when we all used to play Call of Duty, and then you find Mike's little hiding spot. He's laying there. You can come up behind him. You've got all the time in the world. He's just laying there.
Yeah, the best would be though you'd shoot him once and his damage would go down, and you'd see he's panicking on his end, and he starts spinning around up in the air trying to find out where you are. Give him a couple more
spinning around.
Me and Ty even waited in line to get the Call of Duty game one time at like midnight, and we got a free T-shirt, and it was like my Sunday's best T-shirt. I wore it to nightclubs and shit. Remember?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you wore it to Status, I think.
Status in
US back in the day, yeah,
buddy.
Oh, so when the girls asked, "Oh, where'd you get that T-shirt?" Oh, I waited all night in line
yeah.
for a Call of Duty.
It's a great conversation piece.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think you're drinking anything right now.
Well, episode
hopefully
64.
Not.
I absolutely not. I'm mobile in the vehicle, so. I'm not, but what do you got going on there, Mr. Shields?
I'm drinking an ice cold Stella. It is delicious on another nice sunny day like this. Michael,
yes,
I see
sir.
You are, where are you right now?
I'm actually at my office, so I don't have any alcohol going on. I have a nice bottle here of West Coast Sports Junkies water that I'm drinking. So
oh, perfect.
I will be having a beverage with you guys later on this evening. We're camping over at the lake, so it's got to wait till I get there.
Awesome. Sounds good. You guys want to jump right into the free agent frenzy here today or what?
Yeah, man. Lots going on. Lots to talk about.
What did you think of the day the Canucks have had so far?
Yeah, it's been pretty nuts. We everyone's looking to see what Jim Rutherford and Patrick Levine were going to do today, and it was like, boom, coming out of the gate. They waited about an hour, and there was like, 4 or 5 different free agent signings there right off the bat, and it's good to see that they're actually making some moves and doing something. And they said they wanted to get faster, more grit, more sandpaper, and I think that's what they went out and they got here today. We can talk about each and every player if you want, but the two that stick out for me are obviously the Curtis Lazar, from the Boston Bruins we picked up. He's a former first-round pick, BC boy from Salmon Arm, right-handed center, which is definitely something that we needed. And then the Ilya, how do you say it?
I think it's Mikheyev.
Yeah, definitely. When he's all speed, right? So he gives you that, he'll create some opportunities for sure in the offensive zone. I think last year he got 21 goals, and hopefully he's going to build off that. That was his best year he's ever had. So just looking to these players a little bit more today as the day's gone on. It's obviously just happened today. So
yeah,
it's kind of fresh to me, but getting to know these guys and
yeah, I was honestly really surprised by the day they had so far. Honestly, you know how we tweeted it a long time ago, or it wasn't able to be made official until today, obviously free agency, but the kid from Russia, Andrei Kuzmenko.
Yeah.
I honestly thought that might have been one of the only things that were announced by the Canucks. And that was one of the first things they had on Instagram.
Yeah.
And I'm excited about that kid. I mean, he was like one of the highest rated Russians to come over to North America. And since they're saying Panarin, I know that's some high praise. No guarantees he's going to be anything like Panarin, but I mean, the comparison alone got me a little excited. He's probably going to slot right into our top 6. And, it's a cheap, I think it's like it's a 1-year deal. I think just over $1 million.
Yeah. 1-year entry-level deal shows what you're made of, what you got. Right. I like that deal too. But we all knew about this guy coming on board, just hadn't been official yet for a long time.
That's what I mean. And that's why I thought they might've thrown it on their account today, just to be like, okay, we did something here. And I thought they're going to be quiet because as we've talked about, we're up against the cap. And that's why I was really surprised to see the Ilya Mikheyev deal there. I don't know. At first, I was not happy with it. I think just because I knew how close we were up against the cap, and I think we have more pressing needs personally. But everything you said, there's a lot of upside there. Apparently, his analytics are good, which is something I don't think Benning and that previous regime focused on too much. And seems like it's the new way of the world, right? Looking at all the little things that don't show up on the stats. So after the dust settled, I'll say I warmed up to it a little more. And like you said, the Lazar pick, I really like that. I mean, that's something Jim Benning could never do or find, right? Like it's a cheap deal. There is a little term on there, but it's a $1 million average per year for, like you said, probably a fourth line center, right-handed center, which we needed. I mean, that's something Benning would have paid, $4 million a season too, and gave him like a 5-year deal, something like that. So I thought that was a great signing. And then there's, a few other kind of minor signings, but one that they're talking about, I've never heard of this guy, Dakota Joshua. We signed him to a 1-year deal. And he is what you spoke of, like the toughness and the grit. And from what I heard from Patrick Alvin talking about it is he's got a good chance of cracking the lineup and potentially being on that fourth line.
So I did some looking into him as well, and my notes. I make notes on all these guys, and I put beside Abbotsford. I think he's been spending some time in Abbotsford.
Yeah. I think so too. But like I said, Patrick Alvey did a little interview, and he actually thinks it's a guy they've actually been looking at apparently for a little bit. He has played, I think, 50 career games, I think, with the Blues.
42.
42.
42.
Look at you. And I did see he has 4 fighting majors in those games. So is that correct?
So you get that power forward, that grit that they've been talking about, that sandpaper. I think with these picks that they've made is obviously clear in the direction they want to go. And he just adds right to it, for sure.
But yeah, I mean, we've talked about it a lot too, in terms of like our goaltending is set. We're excited about that. We still think we need to add a defenseman or two. And I don't know, maybe, like I was saying, we are up against the cap, and there's probably going to be, a player that needs to be moved here or there, depending what happens with the Miller negotiations and all that. But I definitely think we could potentially get back a top 4 defenseman pretty easily, not, you know what I mean? With some of the players that are on the block, because we definitely need to improve defensively.
Yeah, they're gonna have to do something for sure. I mean, obviously, if we were to talk about grading them and how they did on today's actions with the first day of free agency, it would be they obviously got better up front, but they haven't done anything in the back end. And that's exactly where I like to build the teams, and where they're going to need to focus some attention, I think. Again, with the toughness and the strength and the size, even though we have Myers, but he's got to go. He's got the size, but he's just, he's a little bit too,
like I've always said, he's a gentle giant.
Yeah, exactly. We need a meaner Tyler Myers. Hopefully he gets like punched out or something like that in his office and gets pissed off.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe a full off season with some new coaches. We got some new assistant coaches, and obviously a full off season with Bruce. Maybe they'll spark something in him. But yeah, and we jumped ahead obviously to free agency because it happened today. But late last week was the NHL draft. Now I thought that Miller probably would be on the move, especially after we signed Besser before the draft, but didn't happen. Didn't play out like that. We were pretty quiet draft wise, no trades. But obviously we drafted 15th overall. And this is the Canucks like to draft players with tough last names. So we have to struggle with them on the podcast, I think, right?
Yeah.
It's got to be it. So 15th
unless
overall,
they're really, really good and we hear them a lot on TV and stuff, then we'll figure it out pretty quick.
This one's probably easy once I actually figured out the pronunciation. But 15th overall, we selected the youngest player in the first round. And surprise, surprise, it's another Swedish player, Jonathan Lekkerimäki, something like that.
Good job. I couldn't have done a better job pronouncing that.
but yeah, I don't know a ton about him, but I have heard some good things. I think he is going to obviously take a couple years to crack the lineup. But now the Sedins are in charge of player development. They're going to be on the ice a lot. Why not draft another young Swede who probably looked up to those guys?
For sure,
their kids, right? So that was everything I've heard about that I've heard good things about him from all the draft experts and this and that. But you get to the third round and the Canucks did something only the Canucks would do.
Yeah. Oh my God. I know.
We drafted another Elias Pettersson to the team.
Same
right?
damn name. Unbelievable.
Do you know who Elias Pettersson's favorite player is?
Elias Pettersson.
You got it. It's his favorite NHL player.
Oh my God.
He is a defenseman.
Yeah,
which,
and a big one too. Or they're rejecting him to be a big defenseman at like 205 pounds.
Yeah. And we've been talking about it. The pipeline is pretty dry in terms of defensive prospects. There's not a lot there, so that helps. But I mean, what a Canuck thing to do.
Oh man.
Like, were they laughing themselves when they apparently, obviously they didn't draft him because of that. But
I hope they took him for he was the best available. We obviously need defensemen, so
yeah.
Yeah.
And apparently he's gonna be the E Pettersson on his jersey.
What do you mean?
The abbreviation, because there can't be two Petterssons the exact same name, so he's gonna be E period Pettersson on the back.
Oh, I got you. Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah.
What number is he wear? Do you know?
I can't remember. It's not 40, so that won't be a problem.
Yeah.
But also I think he's a few years away, obviously, as well. But yeah, just such a Canuck thing to do. Obviously there's other draft picks we made, but the next one that stood out to me, 5th round, we drafted a goalie, Ty Young. He plays in the WHL. Another goalie prospect added to our pipeline. Michael DiPietro actually was just qualified by the Canucks as well. Don't know when he will, see any NHL action. He hasn't been playing that well as of late, the last few years. But now that we have Spencer Martin backing up Demko, he probably will stay with whatever team he's on now until making the jump to the Abbotsford Canucks maybe in a few years. But yeah, overall, the draft I thought was a little disappointing for the Canucks, just because from, this new management regime, I thought they would have made a few more moves. Obviously, you're not just going to make a move to make a move if the deal's not right, but I just thought they would have done something. Not even Miller. I just, something maybe. Like there's been rumors with Myers, Garland. There's a lot of stuff out there, maybe to bolster the back end and stuff like that. But yeah, overall, I'd say it was decent. I wouldn't say it was a home run of a draft. What do you think?
No, yeah, I agree completely with you. It was kind of a weird draft. Like even the number one prospect didn't go to like 4th or 5th. And really, it's next year is the draft that we want the Canucks to get the first pick overall.
Yeah, Well, do we? Because we would have to suffer through a terrible Canucks season for that to happen. That's not going to happen.
This is one of those drafts where these players, like all those, like, you know, those top, any first rounder could, you know, grow up to be, the next superstar. So
generational talent.
Exactly.
The next one, as they're saying, yeah.
So it's always fun to watch, and there's not much we can talk about this draft in particular, other than that whole Elias Pettersson thing, which is ridiculous. But I mean, if he's the next best player and if he's going to be the next best defenseman that we need, then whatever, I'll get over that. The fact that he's got the same name as his idol.
Yeah, imagine the first power play there, John Shorthouse, Pettersson to Pettersson scores. Like,
yeah. Well, that happens. Like, there's like, you know, Wilsons or Williams. Remember Williams? There's like 3 Williams on the Kings.
Yeah, and then you get the brothers playing together sometimes, like the Stalls and stuff, Sedins, obviously. But yeah, such a Canuck thing to do. That pretty funny.
Yeah,
I thought it was a joke. Like, I opened Twitter or whatever, and I thought they were just, you know, looking back at past picks or something. Like Canucks draft list. I'm like, oh, what are they? You know, maybe it's whatever, the anniversary of him being selected. I'm like, oh no, I had to like read the comments below to realize it was that was another Elias Pettersson. But
I gotta ask you, you probably know more about this than me. Like, they haven't moved Miller yet, and Miller's been quiet today, and everyone thought he was going to be going in and around the draft for picks or whatever, but that didn't happen. So do you think that they have it up their sleeve and they're going to go listen to Chris Govek here and keep him somehow, some way?
Well, he still has a year left. He's playing this year, so
but then he goes UFA, and then we get nothing for him.
Yeah, but the thinking probably is like, if there's no interest now, they're gonna hope to, you know, he'll have great value regardless, but hope like one of the teams that was interested in him, a contender, would maybe want him at the deadline, if that's something we wanted to do, if they can't come up with a fair contract for him. I don't see how they would do it, because like I said, cap space right now, unless there's another trade from, obviously not Miller, maybe like a Garland, or I hope they could find someone for like a Myers, et cetera, et cetera. But yeah, I don't know. Govik could be right. I mean,
I heard that right now we're actually okay. Is that not the way? So they're right now, they're negative 2.75 million, but because Furlan's on long-term injury reserve, that's 3 million to that. So we're in the green.
But we're still paying like buyout penalties on Virtanen and Holtby. They haven't calculated that in there. I mean, I was looking at, it's a website called Cap Friendly, which they're like always to the T. I saw they were like over by 2.5 or whatever.
Really?
Could be wrong. Either way, though, that's tight against the cap when we still have some moves to make. That Travis Dermott, or one of our depth defensemen there, he's a restricted free agent, so he's going to be signed fairly cheap. But I mean, yeah, it just doesn't give them a lot of flexibility right now with pretty much anything else in free agency, unless they make a move here. But yeah, the Canucks, not a bad day. I mean, some interesting things. Obviously, we'll see how it plays out. It's always exciting when we see some new signings, and obviously we hope our team is going to be improving. But there's a few teams today that I think really position themselves well. Obviously, we're not going to talk about them all. We can talk about some kind
Ottawa is killing it, I think.
Some key signings and some teams. Ottawa has had a pretty good offseason.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, Giroux is the big fish they landed.
Yeah. They need some more moves today too. I can't remember.
No, yeah, for sure. He's a big one for them. Yeah. But yeah, the team, like I would say Edmonton, had a fantastic day. So they
signed Kane.
They re-signed Kane, who obviously had great chemistry with McDavid and Draisaitl there. But the big one is they got their goalie finally. They went out and spent some money on Jack Campbell, who I was surprised like the Leafs didn't go out and re-sign. I mean, he was solid all year for them. You can't blame him for their first round exit. I mean, that game 7, they lost 2-1. I mean, he was solid all throughout the season. He had a little blip there in the middle, but he was ready to go by the end of the year in the playoffs. But yeah, they kind of went off the board and traded for Matt Murray. Do you see that? The Leafs a couple of days ago? Matt Murray, the ex-Penguin, two-time Stanley Cup champ, who spent the last couple of years in Ottawa, who is pretty much like, I thought he was going to retire. But they made a trade for him. They went and signed Ilya Samsonov, who started some games for Washington. So it looks like they're going to kind of let those two battle it out. But I mean, I don't see that as a better, a better goaltending tandem than what's his name that I just said? Campbell.
Mm-hmm.
Campbell, and I think they had Mrazek. But yeah, Campbell and Edmonton re-signing Kane. They re-signed a few defensemen. But yeah, I think Edmonton just increase their chances of making another long run in the playoffs with that.
I think they made a good move for sure with the Kane signing. He, for whatever reason, found his home in there and his sort of took over his role and did it really well. I think there's part of the reason why they went so far in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And now that you said that they got actually a decent goalie, that they should be a contender next year for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's not many more pieces of the puzzle they need to fix up there other than their goaltending. They have maybe a little bit more on the defense, but
exactly. Yeah. I would say goaltending and maybe a little defense. Another big winner I thought today was Carolina. We saw they're pretty good in the playoffs. They just missed out on getting into the Eastern Conference Finals. They lost Game 7 to the Rangers, but they traded today for Brent Burns from the San Jose Sharks. He's still got some left in the tank.
Is that official?
Which is pretty.
I thought that was
official.
Rumors.
No,
really?
It's done. They traded for Brent Burns. So what an addition there to that defensive core. And just recently, before we came on here to record, they traded for Max Pacioretty. Wow. And got him from Vegas for future considerations. It was essentially Vegas needed to dump salary. So they got Pacioretty and he's like a 24-year-old defensive prospect for future considerations.
Why didn't we have any interest in like Burns?
Couldn't fucking afford it.
No. Even if we're going to get rid of Miller, like why can't we make some kind of like deal there? I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know his like what his no trade is and all that. But I mean, the team would have to agree. Like they would pretty much have to have an agreement in if he's traded somewhere, he's signing a 8, 9 or like a 7-8 year extension, right? So they're not just gonna the team won't just trade him for that. And I don't know if he'd be willing to do that in San Jose, for example, who's rebuilding, right? He probably wants to go to a contender.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, so Carolina, without giving up pretty much anything significant, added Brent Burns to their decor and Max Pacioretty up front.
Yeah, man. They're going to be look how far they went this year. They're going to be a solid contender next year as well. Everything else basically remains the same, right? They just got better. How would you grade the Canucks? Now that we're all said and done. Well, not all said and done, but after today's moves.
I think offensively, obviously, I think our top 6 is improved. Our bottom 6 too, with the addition of Lazar and that. But I still see us fighting for the 8th spot, the wild card spot in the Western Conference right now. And that's what we did last year. But I will say a full season under Bruce Boudreau, who knows? But I mean, I don't see him being like a for sure playoff caliber team. Do you?
Not yet. No, I would say that for sure. They definitely got better up front. They got faster. They got stronger. They got a little bit more grit in them. But if we're going to lose Miller, we're losing 99 points right there off the bat.
Well, I was just talking if we kept, keeping Miller. Right now,
But yeah, we need to do something on the back end for sure with our defensive core there. I think you said it. Don't you think Tremkin would is like kicking himself right now because all the Russians that we have?
That was a tweet. Yeah, man. And then you throw in Podkolzin in there, and I will say a lot of these younger guys, obviously, another year of NHL experience last year. So Podkolzin should take a next step. Hopefully Hoglander, same thing. He got hurt, but before that, he kind of tailed off. He was pretty inconsistent, I thought. But, these younger guys hopefully will take the next step, keep improving. And I still see us fighting for a wild card spot, especially in the tough Western Conference and our division.
Yeah, for sure. I do as well. I bet you that Chris would have a different be singing a different tune. He's gonna see Vancouver versus Edmonton in the Western Finals, I think, next year, and probably Edmonton pulling through. I don't know.
I don't know. And one more surprising thing before we wrap up the NHL free agency here is that Johnny Gaudreau he's walked. He's done with the Flames right now.
Yeah, what the hell? I thought he was
Crazy,
happy.
right?
He's Mr. Calgary, man. You know what?
For sure.
They paid him over $10 million a year, offered him over $10 million a year, and he's like, nope, he's gone.
Apparently,
come to Vancouver.
Yeah, apparently, yeah, right. Definitely can't afford that. Apparently, said it was like a family decision or whatever. But yeah, there's apparently interest from, I think it was like the Devils, Islanders. I heard the Flyers. But yeah, it's sounding like something like 12 million a year. He could get
over 10. And I don't know who the hell wouldn't be interested in Johnny Gaudreau, man. He's one of the best in the league right now.
But so I guess that's good for the Canucks, right? Calgary losing him in our division.
Oh yeah.
That will help us. But
yeah,
I don't know. There's still going to be a whole bunch more to play out in the weeks to come here. So we will get back into it probably next episode. All right, guys, it is major week, the last major of the season, unfortunately, but it's going to be a good one. It's at the home of golf at the old course at St. Andrews, and I am pumped. I've been watching live from the US Open all week on the Golf Channel. It's a special one because it's the 150th, obviously, so a little anniversary there. Everybody is in the field, all the big names. A lot of guys are playing some real good golf. Tiger, it seems like, has been over there for 2-3 weeks preparing. Like he's in it to win it, which I'm pumped about. Watched a lot of his practice rounds and highlights and all that. But yeah, super excited. We just did our little golf pool or draft yesterday and today. So we're all set up for it. Mike, are you excited or what?
Oh man, I can't believe it. It sucks that it goes by so fast this golf season. Like already here at the fourth major of the year, and this is the last one. This is to some people this is the best one. For me, my favorite's the Masters, and then this one. You get the best players, and especially this year being the 150th, and it's at St. Andrews, which is like number 2 course that I want to play at. On my list. Number 1 being Augusta, number 2 St. Andrews over there in Scotland. So
I would agree with you on that one as well. Yeah.
So excited. I'm pumped up like you watching the Golf Network and I like that they're not all talking about just the stupid live golf, PGA thing. We're actually talking about a major here and
me too.
Tigers in the field. So it's good to see, man. I'm excited.
Absolutely. Well, let's get right into it. Who you have an eye on this week? I mean, without making your pick yet, we'll save that for our best bets. Myself, I'm looking at like guys like Xander Schauffele. The guy's been on a tear. He has 3 victories.
No,
3 victories. No, not me. 3. He's won 3 events in 14 days.
Where?
He won the Travelers Championship, which is a PGA event.
Oh, I've been too focused on the live golf.
Really.
Oh
my God. I know. So yeah, he won the Travelers. Obviously they're not big tournaments, but they're wins, right? He hasn't been able to finish, but right now he's on a tear. So that's the biggest one because it's a PGA event. He won, it's called the JP Pro-Am tournament. Like it's that big one. I don't know if you saw last week, Golf Channel at that Adore Manor in Ireland. Tiger flew in by helicopter. Anyways, Tiger played in it. He won that. And then this past weekend, he won the Scottish Open. Which is a European tour event.
I did not know that. Last weekend I was away and didn't have reception basically, so I didn't know what was going on really. But there's some. I mean, that's a big one. I want to put a little mark beside his name. That's good to know. Thank you, Tyler.
No worries. But yeah, like you said, he hasn't been able to finish, but he's done well in majors, and I mean, you got to be thinking the way he's playing his current form, man. He's lights out. Like 3 wins, 2 of them are like big wins. One's kind of like that exhibition, the hero event Tiger puts on kind of thing, that idea. But still a win with a solid field. So got to give it to him. So yeah, obviously him. There's a lot of talk about Rory. He is the odds-on favorite.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's been playing some great golf this year. He's been, I think, top 10s in the few majors. Obviously, I think he finished 2nd at the Masters. He wasn't that far behind recently at the PGA Championship, and he won the Canadian Open. What was that, last month? So he's been playing well. He's always going to be in the mix. And you know, I'm excited for him. I love when Rory's playing that type of golf. He looks like he's fired up, and you know, I think all these guys are, man. Like you said, the home of golf, the 150th at the old course, St. Andrews, like they all want to win this. This puts you in the golf, like the best in like the, you know, glory. Like you're etched in history forever at the home of golf. Like how cool is that? So,
you know, and they keep playing over and over again on the golf network there, and it's what gets my, you know, gears spinning is Tiger Woods, man. He's playing. It's the 150th. You know, he's got when Tiger's in the field, he's got a chance. He's played well at St. Andrews in the past. He's won at St. Andrews in the past. There's a lot of these guys actually have won. It's tough. The big names, like I think like Morikawa coming in, can he go back to back British Open wins? He's been playing pretty well in the majors too. But how do you pick against Tiger Woods? I can't pick against Tiger Woods going into a British Open at St. Andrews. I don't know how you do it.
And he has some juicy odds there too. Do you have them right in front of you? What is he?
I do have the odds.
Because it's been moving. He's one of the most bet on golfers right now, they're saying.
Tiger Woods is 66-1 right now to win the British Open outright. And then just to compare that to the favorite, Rory McIlroy, is 10-1.
Yeah, that is pretty crazy.
Yeah. So there's good value there. Throw a couple bucks down on Tiger, man. I mean, whenever he's in the field, you know he's got a chance to win, and he's in it to win it. That's for sure.
He's come out and said that this is his favorite course, like, which I was surprised. I thought he might say like Augusta kind of thing also, but yeah, he said this is his favorite course. Like I said, when the intro there to this, he's been over there playing links golf for I think 3 weeks now. He's taken this super seriously. He's played a lot of golf. His body seems to be holding up well. Almost seems like he's focusing on like this last run at this major. And then, you know, he probably could even shut it down for the rest of the year, tournament wise.
Well, if you're Tiger Woods and you're thinking from the beginning of the year, this year, if you're going to come back, then was winnable course for him and his game is this weekend at St. Andrews, I would say. You know, it's not like Augusta where you have the greens here are huge. I think the average green size is like 1,300 square feet. It's massive.
Yeah,
right?
And it's not a super tough course to walk either, right?
No, it's
like
flat.
There's hilly and stuff, like undulations in the
it's windy
fairways and stuff. It's windy, it might be a little tougher walking into the wind, but
hanging out of those brick bunkers would be a challenge.
You know, it's crazy. Speaking of that, the last time he won there, or no, not the last time he won. Maybe it is the last time he won there. Anyways, whenever he won the British Open at St. Andrews last, he didn't hit one bunker in 4 rounds.
Huh.
That is
crazy.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, for some reason,
the complete
my ball gravitates to the sand,
right?
bunkers. Yeah,
I had to look that up again. I'm like, is that for real? Like that is insane. But yeah, I'm excited. It is kind of a cool tournament because obviously the time change. It starts tonight for us, like 10:30 p.m. So it always messes up my sleep for the week, but it's worth it. I try to stay up as late as possible. The crappy thing is though, usually the first few tee times are not any stars, unfortunately. So you usually got to wait till you see some names, right? First round. But either way, it's going to be a fun weekend of golf. And then, I definitely think we'll see Tiger. I don't know if Tiger's going to win. I definitely think he'll make the cut, and I think he will be in contention. Like in contention, I mean, 4 or 5 strokes off the lead at some point. Like I think he'll hang around. He knows this course, won there twice, and I think we'll see him contending.
Well, I'm hoping and praying for that. I've been doing that all week, and everyone wants to see Tiger Woods on Sunday in contention. You're gonna have you glued to the. Tell you, golf wants it, PGA wants it, because they'll have you glued to your TV screens. I'm just trying to look up real quick here what time he tees off tonight or tomorrow morning.
I'm pretty sure it's about 6:37 a.m. our time.
Okay, I can't seem to pull it up quickly. Here it is. 6:59 a.m. Oh, perfect.
Yeah, that's good.
That's our time. 7 a.m. our time. I'll be just rolling into work and putting on the tube.
That's awesome. Well, while we're on it, talking golf, I think you and I are both probably going to go with golf picks for our best bets. Am I right?
You're right. Yes, I'm going to go golf this week.
Okay. Well, real quick, while we get into our Bodog best bets, we will go over last week's results. So last week, Mike, obviously you couldn't make it, but Govik went with the BC Lions to beat the Blue Bombers at home. I believe they're like a -130. They were a slight favorite. They hadn't lost yet this year.
Yeah.
So
that was a good game.
Yeah. So he took the Lions and they got absolutely shellacked. Like it was like,
well, it was a good game on paper. Both teams were undefeated.
Oh yeah, on paper. Yeah. But I think they lost. Like, I don't know. I was downtown and I actually didn't even know what time they were playing at. I was wondering why Shark Club was so busy, and it was just after the game. But anyways, I saw the highlights. They lost like
43 to 22.
Oh, there you go. Look at you. Yeah. But yeah,
anyways, it was a sore one. They obviously came out flat-footed, and the Bombers just took off on them right off the gate. So clawed back a bit, but just couldn't get anything going really. So, but thanks, Chris, for the pick. I would have picked the same.
But yeah, so you know what? That was our only loss. We went 2 for 3. Dan actually he went to F1, the Austrian Grand Prix, and he took Charles Leclerc to win. It was plus 225, so it was pretty good odds there. And yeah, he got it done and beat out Verstappen there to win. I went with a heavy favorite. I went with Rafael Nadal to beat Taylor Fitz, who I had never heard of, so that's why I thought it was a guarantee. He actually ended up winning. He was a -250. He ended up winning that match to get to the semifinals. But unfortunately, in that match, he injured himself, tore some ab muscles or something. So sorry, Rafa. And he had to withdraw from the tournament.
Definitely, you got the Tyler curse going on there.
Yeah, so I have to apologize for that. But we got the win, so we went 2 for 3. But
nice.
Not bad. So it's going to be a little harder for us this week, obviously, because we're picking golf. I mean, it's tough to hit a golfer winning a tournament. Obviously, there's so many in the field, so many different factors. But why don't you start us off there and give us your bet of the week?
Okay, well, my pick of the week, we're going with the British Open, and I'm going with Justin Thomas to win the British Open outright. He's on my pick on my fantasy team that we made earlier this week. He is a plus 2,000, which means he's 20 to 1 odds. So my $20 bet will pay me $400. So that's going to be my bet of the week. I'm going with Justin Thomas to win the British Open. He's won majors in the past. He usually contends. He plays well. He likes the pressure, and he performs. So I'm going with Justin Thomas.
Nice. Should we make a few picks for our compadres here that can't make it tonight? We always usually give. Yeah. Who do we always give the favorite to? All right.
Yeah.
All right. Govik's got McIlroy at 10 to 1.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna pick for Dan here. You know what? We're gonna give Dan the #1 golfer in the world here, Scotty Scheffler, who obviously has won a major this year and has been close in a few others. I think he has 4 wins this year or whatever. Always in contention. So we'll give Dan Scotty Scheffler. I am going with Mr. Jordan Spieth, who I also have on my fantasy team that we drafted.
Who's won at St. Andrews? Didn't he win there last time?
No, he's won an Open, but not at St. Andrews. He finished
second. He came close, right?
He came close.
I remember it.
Yeah, he came close. So, he's kind of been up and down this year, but he has contended in majors. He's made all the cuts. He played last week at the Scottish Open, and he was right there with Xander Schauffele until the last round. Some unforced errors. He finished, I think he finished 5 back of Schauffele, but it was a top 20. So he's been playing well. We know he likes this type of golf. He's very creative. The guy can miss the fairway 50 yards right, and he'll come up with some miraculous shot to save par or whatever. He's really good with long putts, lag putting. There's a lot of that happens at the Open. Great short game, chipping, all that. So yeah, I think he's going to contend, and I think he will get it done. I think he's going to battle Rory on Sunday. he'll outlast Rory, and he will win the 150th Open Championship. So there you have
prediction, my friend.
There you have it. Obviously, these are all, they're not favorites, but they're up there. I would say they're the top tier, all of the picks we have. Govik has the favorite always, but there is some value, like you said, Mike, out there. I always like throwing $5 on some of these long shots, with the odds, how they are, like even $5 on Tiger, 66 to 1, stuff like that. I also like Mark Leishman at he's 125 to 1. He also finished, he lost in a playoff here as well
to Zach Johnson, who won in 2015 at St. Andrews.
Yeah.
What's Zach Johnson's odds? I gotta check this.
So anyways, I think these guys that have come close, they obviously know the course, they play it well. I would look at placing some small bets on guys like that. I mean, you can't go wrong. $5 is a coffee, right? Even 125 to 1 on a golfer. Why not? But yeah, what is Zach?
Oh, I'm still trying to find his name. He's scrolling down.
Does he he has
300 to 1.
Oh man.
Yeah, I'll be putting $5. I'm putting $5 on Zach Johnson to
past champion repeat. There. Obviously, he knows the course too. Those odds are what they are for a reason. I mean, he has not played the best golf
done shit since
in a long time. But like I said, $5 is it's a coffee at Starbucks. So if you want to have a little fun, our link to sign up for a Bodog account, if you have not yet, is on our website, www.westcoastsportsjunkies.ca. And they will match up to $400 of your initial deposit. So go for it, have some fun, and make some money.
Yeah. All right, Ty. So last weekend, I was out fishing on the west coast of Vancouver Island, and I know you did a special little trip because the Toronto Blue Jays were in town. Well, not in our town, but in Seattle playing the Mariners, and you made the trip down to watch the game. Did you just go to one game or multiple games?
Just went to one game. I had a couple of days off through the week, and I knew the weekend was just going to be crazy. Like prices through the weekend games were ridiculous, as well as hotels, because it seemed like everybody in the Lower Mainland was down there to see the Jays. It was a home game for the Jays, but I just went to the Thursday night game.
Yeah, it's always a good time. I've been down there a couple of times to see them, and like you said, it's like a home game for the Jays. But the Jays, being a Jays fan myself, got swept in Seattle, and they were on a tear until you started getting interested in poking your nose around baseball. Why don't you explain to us what the hell you've done here?
Okay, well, they were doing well, but they weren't on a tear. They were kind of struggling. They would win for one, the Jays, lose a couple.
The last 20 years, this is a tear for them, okay?
Well, they're like odds-wise, they're a top 5 team to win the World Series, like before the season started, which, that hasn't been seen in a long time. But, it wasn't me. I actually bought a new jersey there in the background, a Julio Rodriguez jersey. He's an exciting new young rookie the Mariners have. He actually was just named an all-star. So I would just like to say, since I bought this jersey, the Mariners are 5-0, and they're on a 9-game winning streak right now. The best run they've been on since 2003, which is the last time they made the playoffs, believe it or not. So
pretty crazy. Are they in a playoff spot right now?
Currently, them and the Jays are tied for a wild card spot. And there's, I think there's the Tampa Bay Rays, and I think, who am I missing? Maybe the Red Sox. But they're only a game or two ahead of them for the other wild card spot. So they're both right now tied for a wild card spot, playing unreal baseball. And it's, it's kind of like the Seahawks, as they're in the Pacific Northwest. They don't get a lot of coverage. No one's really talking about them actually until today. I started seeing all this stuff on Twitter, like even the Major League Baseball Twitter account, like Mariners are on fire, this and that, which is fun to see because they've been so bad for so long. So who knows if they're for real? They look like they're for real. The Jays finally got a win
their
again.
Manager, didn't they?
Yeah, so they won last night,
which
is their first win, I think, in 5 games or whatever. And they fired their manager today after that win. I haven't, to be honest, like you said, I haven't followed baseball a whole lot because, hockey was on, the playoffs, this and that. We're kind of forced to a little bit right now, being sports junkies like we are. Got to watch something, check out the games. And I am getting into baseball. So I think, a couple of my friends who watch baseball, Steve Hartley's one of them, was super excited that they fired their manager. So sounds like it was a long time coming. Maybe it'll be a similar situation to the Canucks last year.
Yeah, I was just going to say, hopefully it's like a Boudreau moment and then it turns everything around real quick.
Maybe it'll spark them. And I actually have the game on right now. They're leading Philly 4-0 in the fourth inning. So
who took over as their manager? Just the assistant?
An interim coach that was currently on the team. I don't know if they're going to look elsewhere for that. But no, man, it's fun. Like, you know what? I cheer for the Blue Jays obviously as well because they're a Canadian team. But, it's fun when they're both in the mix. Obviously, Seattle.
I'm a Jays fan first and then I'm a Mariners fan second. So it doesn't really.
Yeah, I'd love them both to make the playoffs. I mean, I remember that we talked about at the end of last season. They were both fighting for that last wildcard spot and they only missed out on it by a game or two, both of them.
Yeah.
But we talked about it that they, last year they both had exciting teams and some pieces coming up, which, like I said, this Rodriguez kid for the Mariners. So it's been fun watching it. Yeah, down in Seattle, man, it was a great time. It's crazy how many Blue Jay fans make the trip down there. I actually went to a few different areas in the it's called T-Mobile Park now. Their sponsor.
They changed the name of the parks down in Seattle, like crazy, man.
Yeah, it was Safeco.
I don't even know what the football stadium is called anymore. What is it?
Lumen Field. Lumen Field, yeah. But yeah, we got seats. It's called the Hit It Here Cafe. It's almost like club seats. You have your own your own tabletop like bar kind of thing, and you have a full menu. You have your own section for bathrooms, your own bar, waiter, full menu and stuff. It was really good. Tickets weren't that bad either. $50 each. Which is not bad at all.
That'd be ticket $400 at the Canucks game, probably.
Yeah, and the ticket actually came with $18 off food.
Oh no!
Each ticket. Yeah. So
how do you compare your experience there? Because you've been to a couple of baseball games recently. To the game you were in Jacksonville
or in Miami. It was a very different vibe and experience because we were drinking a lot more in.
You were on a stag for one,
in Miami.
With your wife for the other.
Exactly. Now I did drink here as well. Don't get me wrong. We went to Cowgirls, did a little pre-gaming, figured out how to rent scooters. I'm gonna have to show you that in Seattle.
Oh, God.
Freaking amazing. But anyways, no, it was really cool. It's a great area if you guys go down to a game. Anyone wants to go to a game. Just it's not as crowded and you can come and go from there. So we had our dinner and stuff, and then we went down to the bullpen area, which I've never been. Next time we go to the game, I'll take you down there, and you're literally right at the bullpen where the pitchers are warming up on the field. And it's just like a big standing room area. Everyone's down there partying and they have hard bar, everything. So
if they made the playoffs,
we're going.
They're in the West, right? Mariners are in the West and the Jays are in the East. So the only way they would play each other is if they were in the finals too?
American League. They're in the same conference.
Does the MLB?
They're in the American League, National League and the American League. So they're in the American League and they're just not in the same division.
So they could meet in the playoffs.
They could meet. So I think the play-in game kind of thing, I think it's a 3-game series now to get into the
wild card thing.
Yeah, the wild card to get into the whatever divisional round. So they could essentially meet. Yeah, if they were the 1 and 2 in there.
I'll tell you, I'll go to if it's in Seattle. I'm in to go.
Oh, dude, if the Mariners, regardless who they're playing, if they can get in the playoffs, we're going to a game 100%. It's been since 2003, man. It's almost 20 years since they made the play. They have the longest drought right now, I think, for playoffs in pro sports.
Yeah, thank God Toronto got in there a couple of years ago to break their drought from the 90s, man.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, we're getting to that time of year, obviously, where every game's more meaningful. I mean, it's a long baseball season, like we've talked about, but a couple of months left, and we'll be talking playoffs hopefully with both of these teams. Yeah, man, time flies, eh? Shit, we got the preseason just around the corner here. We're coming into we're mid-July right now, and sooner or later next month we're gonna have football to go to. Oh yeah, I saw I saw a tweet from the Seahawks with DK's number. You know how they do that? 14 days until training camp, which is crazy.
Oh, shit. Wow.
2 weeks until training camp. And speaking of him, he still doesn't have a new deal. So fingers crossed they figure something out there. I mean, he's going to play next year. Hopefully he doesn't hold out and do all that stuff. But you got to be thinking we're planning a long-term extension for him.
Yeah, so we sort of switch gears here to football. What the hell are we doing in the quarterback situation down in Seattle, Tyler?
We got Drew Lock, okay,
oh my God,
and Geno Smith. Personally,
who would you rather go with?
Me or you as QB? No, I'm just kidding. What I want us to do is, it's never going to happen though, is not necessarily tank, but just go out and don't have a great year, Seattle. The draft class next year is pretty loaded with QB talent. Like even
I don't want it to happen. I want to win a Super Bowl this year. Okay.
Yeah, we're not there, man. We're doing a little retool.
Retool. Yeah. This is a rebuild, my friend.
No, man. Remember our defense it was really good the second half of the year.
Because we had Bobby Wagner plugging all the holes, led the league in tackles.
No, we got Jordan Brooks. He set the record last year. He broke Bobby's record. Look it up.
All right.
And our safeties. We have a decent
for the year. That's what I get. That vibe I'm getting from you. I'm
always excited.
You're excited for the year, but you're not thinking we're gonna, we're gonna have a chance to win it.
I don't want us to even. There's no point in even getting a wild card spot.
What if like Geno Smith or does Andrew Luck light it up, man?
Drew Lock. Yeah, it could happen. I don't see it happening. And like I said, it's a really good QB draft class next year. I'm talking like the top 15. Like you don't even have to have, obviously number one overall, that Bryce Young from Alabama will be probably the consensus number one pick. That's odds are we're not going to be there. Just knowing Pete Carroll and the pride Seattle has, we're not a team that's going to tank. But I would appreciate another top 10 pick and hopefully find our next QB. Because these two guys are not the future, and there's all these rumors.
I'm mentally able to get to where you're at right now. I'm still,
dude.
I'm used to winning in Seattle. So
that's the thing, though. We're Super Bowl champions. No one can take that away from us. That's why it's a lot easier to be like this with the Seahawks, and that's why we cannot be like that so easygoing with the Canucks, because they didn't win the Stanley Cup. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree.
That's why they stress us out so much, the Canucks, but yeah, it's exciting time for sports, man. This weekend's gonna be fun. Open Championship starts tonight, but yeah, hopefully
7 a.m. tomorrow morning for us. That's when it starts for me.
You're gonna when
Tiger.
Yeah. I'll be watching tonight.
Yeah, we're camping, so I have no service there, so I won't be able to tune in, but I will watch it over again like tomorrow during the day.
Yeah,
like I said, as soon as I get to the office, it's going on the tube.
But yeah, the real show starts, like you said, when you're gonna get to work anyways, the Tiger show. So cool, man. All right, everybody, that is episode 64 of the West Coast Sports Junkies. Hope you enjoyed this episode. Obviously, we're missing a couple guys this week, but they should both be back next week. And yeah, enjoy the weekend of sports. The Open is going to be awesome. I really hope we see Tiger in contention on the weekend. Lots of Blue Jays stuff going on. And next week, we will most likely have a whole bunch of more, probably not Canuck signings, but some more NHL signings to talk about. But thanks for joining us. Check out our website, www.westcoastsportsjunkies.ca. And yeah, if you want to place any bets, click our link on the website, the Bodog link, and yeah, know your limit, play within it. See you guys next week.